What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Innerpartysystem from their 2008 self-titled album. As always, big thank you to great friend and champion of the channel, Izzy. And the next track on the album is This Empty Love, which sounds pained, it sounds stripped of emotion, it sounds dejected, perhaps best. Now, of course, love can empty out for multiple reasons, but typically if a love is healthy, if it's active, if it's ongoing, it would be more likely described as full, as powerful, as transcendent, or otherwise warm and enveloping. So for love to be empty suggests it has been stripped of former significance or power, it has bottomed out or otherwise been devoid of the feeling that may have characterized it before, which both the purveyor of the love and any and all people who would be receiving this love would likely be aware of, if not acutely. Now, of course, love can be different things. It can be platonic, it can be familial, and yes, it can be romantic. It can be humanistic, meaning you can have love for life itself, or for the human species, or for planet Earth. You can love things more abstractly than an interpersonal one-to-one love, though fair to say, in a lot of songs, it is more often, I would say, the latter, where it's about romantic love or a relationship type of love. But again, love can manifest in different ways, and indeed, individual people might feel and understand love in divergent or at least different and multifaceted ways. So this empty love, this suggests that it is here and now and present in the heart or the experience of any narrator, but again, depending on who's on the other side of that love, they might feel it keenly as well. I'll just have to see what I can catch, and given that a number of their tunes have had an electronic bent to them, it could be more about vibe and atmosphere than a multifaceted and very detailed narrative. But as I said, I'll see what I can catch. This is Innerpartysystem. The track is This Empty Love, and it's part of their 2008 self-titled album.
And there is something wrong. I can't remember how I got here at all.
I've had those nights.
Her body's lying next to me.
Oh shit.
On the bed, this place smells of smoke and the alcohol on my breath. I look at her to see if she's awake. She whispers,
I thought she was dead.
"This empty love leaves us alone." This empty love, this empty love leaves us alone. I leave the bed to gather up my clothes. She covers up her skin. I'm moving for the door. She says, "If you walk out now, this is the last time that we speak. You tell her that you love her so good. How could you love me? Don't make promises you can't keep." I whisper,
even begin? Amazing. Probably my favorite on the album so far. I think I've said that a couple times, but in this moment, I feel like it's no contest. It's more of a narrative than I would have expected, and yet it feels like it might just be a fragmentary moment in someone's mind that turns out to be delusional or otherwise confusing, like someone who doesn't even know what's reality, someone who's trying to assess the difference between reality and mental experience. Ultimately, the sonics are incredible because they feel very disorienting. What's the right word? There was a word I had as it was like distressed. They felt very distressed and sharp and angular and uncomfortable. So the narrative begins, and he's talking about this woman lying next to him, and he even refers to her as a body. Now, okay, it sounds like they had physical intimacy because they're both naked or at least disrobed at the beginning, and I wondered, wait, is this one of those songs, not unlike I've Been Losing You by a-ha, where suddenly you get a sense that, oh shoot, is she actually dead and maybe he killed her? But then she whispers to him, and he goes into a vocal delivery that clearly gives us two characters, and the voice that we hear from her is different from his. But by the end, I'm wondering if that is indeed all in his head, and maybe she is dead, and then suddenly it's like, whoa, there's no one next to him at all. Now, it sounds like at first he's leaving, and it felt like everything was happening in slow motion. Him getting up, her talking to him, this empty love, this emotional void between them where perhaps they came together because of some emotional warmth or at least physical intimacy. So it sounds like there's been a break, a separation, a breaking down of understanding and emotion between them, and he's picking up his clothes and she's quick to cover herself, and he's trying to get out of the door before he has to think about what were we drinking tonight? Alcohol and smoke. I feel it on my own breath. I can smell it in the air, and maybe this was some drunken engagement that I'm now coming to from, and I'm recoiling from, I'm trying to escape from. But then the second time we hear her talking, it's like her voice was echoed and enshrouded by these distressed sonics, and it's almost like he doesn't want to hear what she's saying, and then suddenly the tune explodes. It becomes powerful and intense in a way I did not see coming, and reminded me sort of like a Nine Inch Nails tune. I actually don't know Trent's catalog all that well, but a couple tunes I remember, and there was this electro-industrial intensity, and I feel like that became, again, more shocking and significant than I ever would have expected, and it felt like this mental explosion and delirium. And then suddenly, again, he's talking as if he doesn't really know what's reality, and he's saying, wait, now I'm waking up in bed and there's no one next to me at all. So was this all in his head? Was this empty love just because he was in some reverie, some alcohol or alcohol-induced or intoxicated daydream slash in that, insomniac state where you're not really awake but you're not really asleep? And is he been living some delusion, and was she all a figment of his imagination? It's not really clear by the time the song ends, but just incredible, and I was blown away by that sonic explosion and ratcheting up to a higher level, which again felt like it was this overwhelming cognitive emotional experience that he was struggling to hold on and to make any sense out of, which again seemed to fit with the narrative. So in terms of the way the vocals were delivered, again, into characters, in terms of the sonic atmosphere, in terms of the sonic ramping up in intensity, and in terms of the imagery and question that the track leaves you with, brilliant, amazing, just fantastic. I really hope, I was talking to Izzy about beginning to do some video reactions, most notably to the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, because now we've gone through their album, and again, shout out to Izzy, reminded me we had actually finished that album, but I'm on the cusp of doing some reactions to them. But I was mentioning, if there's Innerpartysystem videos, and he said that would be good to do too. I really hope there's a video for this, because I'd love to see how this is put to imagery and a visual narrative. But just a really incredible tune. Absolutely loved it. Let me know what you think. And from Luca and I, we will see you next time. Peace.